Hello and welcome. Today I'll be reviewing Valorant's teaser for Phoenix and bringing up some key elements I noticed when watching it myself. But first, I'll let it play through once.
Oh, you wanna play? Let's play. Sit down. Going up.
One enemy remaining.
One drop.
Now, the first thing I want to go over is Phoenix's flash ability, called Curveball. It's essentially a flashbang that automatically curves around a corner that the player chooses. Based on the footage we've seen so far, it seems that throwing it around corners is the only option, as opposed to throwing it straight up into the air or forward. While this may have less applications than a flashbang from a game such as CSGO, I believe that the decision making at higher levels of play will really shine when seeing this used at its maximum potential. Some people have raised concerns about counterplay in response to this ability, and I'd like to point out that both the sound of Phoenix snapping and the slight delay before it flashes allow those with fast enough reflexes to react. It's also worth noting that the Phoenix player in this video waits for it to go off before looking, possibly suggesting that he could be vulnerable to it as well, or potentially that he doesn't want to push until he's sure that someone has been blinded. We can see a bright flame effect over the enemy's eyes to signal that they've been flashed. I have to wonder though if this will be visible enough in a real match. Lastly, we can see a blue trail and circle particle effect indicating the path of Curveball and when it goes off. I wonder if these will be on by default, if they'll be based on options, or only for spectators and developers. I think this could be a great feature for new players to learn the exact timing and placement of their curveballs, but I would also be very interested in seeing an option to toggle it off for less clutter at higher levels of play. The only other ability we see from Phoenix in this video is Blaze, an ability that creates a sight-blocking wall of fire. When using this ability, the player has the freedom to curve the wall by moving their mouse in a direction. I want to note that it seems like the wall automatically snaps to the walls around it at the beginning and end of its path. I would be very curious to see what would happen if you cast this in the middle of an open space and whether or not you can cancel it early. The ability to cancel it early would leave people with the option of creating choke points that the enemy feels somewhat safe to walk through. Perhaps the most interesting feature of this ability is that it heals Phoenix and damages any enemies that try to walk through it. In a game where you can die in 1 shot to the head and around 3 to the body, being able to recover enough to survive more than 1 hit can be pivotal. That's about it for Phoenix specific details in the trailer, but I wanted to cover a few more things that we see throughout it. Firstly, we get a brief teaser at what Omen's character icon and character model are going to look like. Granted, he dies too quickly to find any details. However, this trailer does reveal details about the gunplay that we might expect from Valorant. Firstly, we can see that the weapon Phoenix is using in this trailer is the Vandal, the most expensive of the rifle category. The Vandal, at the very least, seems capable of one-shotting with headshots and potentially killing within 3 body shots, although Sage may have been low here. We do get an opportunity to see how the armor system in Valorant may work throughout the skirmish. Sage's first connecting shot deals 26 damage to Phoenix's armor and 12 damage to his health. Her second shot deals 24 damage to his armor, eliminating it entirely, and deals 16 damage to his health. Based off of this, it seems as though armor absorbs approximately 2/3 of the damage and the remaining 1/3 goes to health. It's worth noting as well that you can only purchase values of 25 or 50 for armor. The biggest question that comes to mind in reference to the armor system based off of what we've seen so far is whether or not it protects you from headshot damage and to what degree. Do rifles such as the Vandal multiply beyond the values that armor is even useful for? These are the questions we have to keep in mind as Valorant releases their closed beta, open beta, and full release in order to fully understand the game. However, until they do release, thank you for watching, subscribe and like for more content, and I hope to see you in the next video.